It's a battle of the titans. Google's Ve3 versus OpenAI Sora. Today, we're going to be taking a look at both of these AI video tools and putting them head-to-head in a one-to-one competition. We're going to be giving them the exact same prompts and seeing which videos we like more across both of these different models. Now, to be fair, Google's Ve3 is a little bit newer and has a little bit better tech under the hood. But we're not just looking at which one of them is going to create the best video. We're looking at the one that is going to be surviving as the go-to video model for AI video generation. So with that being said, let's get into it and break down this showdown of the titans in Google Ve3 versus OpenAI Sora. Let's get into it. Okay, here we go. Now, we're gonna hop into Gemini here first to get some prompts that we're gonna give to both of these models, seeing exactly which one of them is going to reign supreme. So I'm just gonna hop into Gemini and go to 2.5 Flash or 2.5 Pro if I want a little bit more in-depth of a prompt, but 2.5 Flash should be great. We're gonna disable the video tool just so that we're not accidentally creating a video here. And I'm gonna say I need 5 prompts for a competition between Google Ve3 and OpenAI Sora. Now, before you say, hey, isn't this going to be a little one-sided giving a bunch of Gemini prompts to Ve3 and Sora? Obviously, it'll perform better with Ve3, right? Well, don't worry. We're going to be giving a mix of both Gemini-inspired prompts and ChatGPT O3-inspired prompts to make sure that we have it fair across the board here. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take this first prompt generated in Gemini and we're going to give it to both Ve3 and Sora. Then we'll go to OpenAI O3, which is the latest model of ChatGPT, and we'll go and take a prompt from there and put it into both Ve3 and Sora. And we'll go back and forth until I pretty much hit my video generation limit. So we're going to take this first one here. It says, a dramatic scene unfolds. A lone detective walks through a bustling, rain-slicked night market in a futuristic neon-lit city. And I should say, make sure the video fits in 8 seconds, because it's important here to make sure that you have the best prompt, but also making sure that you get an 8-second video worth. You don't want to have something that says, as it's set up above here, 15 to 20 seconds because it can't generate for that long. Okay, so I like this. Now, one consideration here is that Google Ve3 is superior at generating a lot of the sound effects, a lot of the audio of people speaking and syncing it up to the lip movements. So that means if you've seen a lot of the Bigfoot, vlogging videos on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok, we're not going to be making any of those today, as much as I would like to. Today, we're just focusing solely on the non-verbal video generation. I'm sure if I wanted to, I could easily in a couple seconds here create a video of, Bigfoot vlogging and saying some crazy stuff, but that wouldn't really, show exactly how these compare against one another. It would just show that Ve3 is really good at doing the vlog style videos. So here, we're just going to take this first prompt. A lone detective walks through a bustling, rain-slicked night market in a futuristic neon-lit city. I like it. It's very cyberpunk here. We're going to copy this. We're going to head over to a new chat here, turn on video, and we're going to go ahead and paste this prompt in here. And we're not really focusing on how fast they generate. We're just focusing on the end goal of what the generated video looks like here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit submit here for Gemini. And so Google Gemini is going to start on that video. Next, we're going to head over to Sora and we're going to go ahead and put in our video here. And we're going to make it a 16:9 aspect ratio, 480p, 5 seconds. And we're just going to get one video just to show what the one-to-one looks like here and making sure we don't add any other presets. Resolution is 480p, which is fastest, so we'll stick with that for now. And we'll go ahead and hit create video here. Now we can see it's added to our queue, and in a new moment here, we should have this new video generated and the Google Gemini video generated. So I'll pause it here. We'll come back in a minute or two, and we'll see exactly what these look like head to head with the first prompt from Google Gemini. Okay, Google Ve3 is obviously the first to come back since we queued it up first, and we can see our video is ready here. All right, we've got the audio turned on, and we can see here, just at a glance, this is looking pretty cool. We're going to go ahead and hit play and see what it looks and sounds like. That's insane. We got to watch that one more time. Honestly, before I comment on it at all, we'll just watch it one more time. Absolutely insane. So we had the rain in there, we had the bustling city background, we had the footsteps, we had the cool, gadget noises as he pulled up his, watch or whatever. The audio here is absolutely stunning, but we're not just focusing on the audio. We're going to mute it and we're just going to watch it looking at the visuals alone. Obviously, the detective walking, the rain in the background, he stops just in front of us, the rain glistening off of his jacket here. We can see people walking in the background. There's kind of like, again, like a night market and like a futuristic neon lit city. So obviously like a lot of Asian inspired architecture here, and very much looks like a cyberpunk city. And we can see here his eyes are looking at it. and we've got this cool map here with the glow on his knuckles. As far as the video is concerned, I'd say that Google Ve3 has outdone itself on this one. Let's compare that to Sora now. Okay. Walking through the night market. Okay, again, no audio here, but we're not focusing on the audio side of things. We can see here that, again, we've got the, a lot of Asian-inspired architecture here. We've got the signs, and we've got the reflection of the lights in the water on the ground and the puddles. And we've got, from the back, he's walking through the rain-slicked night market, and he's glancing at his map here. And we can see that as he's walking, the map is kind of glowing and his arms kind of waving, and people are walking in the background here. Now, the most telling sign here for me is the fact that I did not specifically specify whether or not the night market lone detective was walking toward the camera or away from the camera. And I'm not sure what it says about the prompt or whether I needed to specify, but Google Ve3 automatically went with the detective walking directly towards us. So it had to do all of the image generation on this detective's face. You can see here he walks up. We see his eyes kind of glance over as he's glancing at the map, and it's got his ear and everything and the hat. Whereas Sora definitely just goes for back of the headshot where he's got that and he's got the jacket waving. In terms of just the pure video generation here, not considering the audio effects that were added on, this first round has to go to Ve3 because it had the bold choice to actually have the developer walk towards us. And there's just so much more detail going on in the background. Like, this is much more of a futuristic neon lit city than this one is. This kind of just looks like, some sort of, alleyway. There's like a couple signs here and all that. It doesn't really scream futuristic neon city, whereas like this is a futuristic neon city. So as far as I'm concerned, this first round goes to Ve3. Let me know down in the comments if you disagree, if you think I should have been more specific with the prompt. And of course, we have to consider the fact that we gave a Gemini prompt to Ve3. Now let's get a prompt from ChatGPT and try giving that to Sora and see if we get a better result on our next one. Okay, so exact same thing. We're in ChatGPT. We're on the latest model, O3, and we're going to say I need an 8-second video prompt I can give to both Ve3 and Sora to generate a great video here. And it's going to think for a second here, and potentially we might see a better video generated on Sora's end, specifically because the prompt is coming from ChatGPT. So ChatGPT knows exactly what sort of things it needs to tell Sora to generate a better result. We'll see. So now we have our master prompt, so we can say 8-second cinematic drone hyperlapse over Vancouver's coastal mountains. Okay, interesting here. And then optional for Ve3, we're just going to take out anything that's optional. And so we'll say this is our prompt, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to copy this in. We're going to head back to this, and we're going to paste the prompt both into Ve3, and we're going to go back here, and we're going to paste this back into Sora. Same exact settings we just did. And now we've added that to queue. Let's go ahead here and see exactly in a few minutes what sort of videos are generated, and if the prompt coming from ChatGPT this time actually yields a better result in terms of our overall video quality. Okay, so interesting to note that this time, even though I still put the prompt into Ve3 first, OpenAI Sora was the one to actually deliver the video first, albeit by about 10 seconds. But let's take a look at OpenAI Sora first and see exactly how it does. As we can see here, it's taking the prompt rather literally when I say an 8-second cinematic drone hyperlapse over Vancouver's coastal mountains. We actually have a drone in the shot here. We can see we have the trees, we get the lens flare, and we have all the realistic textures that were described. We can see the sun is just hitting the tips of the mountains, and we can see here the drone is flying, and we have multiple drones flying. And okay, the drones are looking a little bit strange. Okay, the drones, I don't know if I've ever seen a drone that looks like that before, but the propellers are spinning. We appear to have some sort of shadows going on, but not very realistic. And then we have the kind of fog rolling off the water here with the lens flare. Still pretty decent video here, despite, pretty much until the moment that this drone comes into the shot and you're like, how would that be able to fly? Okay, no. We'll put that I'll put that about like a 6. Rank that as a 6. Honestly, just if it just had this shot and there were no drones in the shot and it just focused on purely the outdoorsy, beautiful background, I would give it a much higher rating. But because this drone comes in the shot with the weird kind of long tail, we're going to say about a 6 for this one. And now let's take a look at Ve3. Okay, so now we have the video here, and we're going to just again mute the video for a second just to get a blind reaction to it without audio here. We have the sun, we have the mountains in the background. It's a lot less of a focus on the trees. We're a lot further out in this case as compared to Sora. Sora put the mountains right there front and center. The triangles here, honestly, for Sora are a little bit confusing because it's a little too geometrically perfect, but we'll just leave that for now. Let's take a look at the Ve3 video. Whoa! Okay. Just to clarify here, I didn't watch either of these videos before I filmed my reaction to it, so I had no idea that that pan was... I thought it was going to be this the whole time. That's why I made the comment about the fact that, you know, maybe Ve3 is cheating a little bit because it's so far out. But no, it seems that it's decided that, yeah, you know, actually it's better to start on a shot of the water and then kind of pan out to actually being with the mountains. And wow, that is gorgeous. And it's completely AI generated. Yeah, no, that round goes to Ve3. That round goes to Ve3 for sure. Let's try something different. Actually, I want to hear what it sounds like with the audio now. Okay, they just generated some like ambient space music. Okay, that's fine. But in terms of visuals go, yeah, no, it's not even close. Like, what is this drone as compared to this beautiful landscape? And there's no drones in the shot. It actually takes what I said seriously. Okay, let's go on and generate our final video here. Although I think we can already start to see where it's tilting towards. Ve3 is certainly dominating so far. But you know what? Maybe Sora will surprise me in the last round. Let's do something that's not realistic. Let's generate something that's fictitious. Whereas Ve3, you know, has images from Google to pull from. Let's create something that's never been seen before, like something from the past. Okay, so for this last one, I'm actually going to write the prompt myself as a human, so that I'm not going to be, you know, relying on Gemini or ChatGPT to control what aspects of the prompt are written. I'm simply going to write a prompt myself. Okay, so our last prompt here is going to be a little bit on the simpler side, but I'm going to say a realistic video of a T-Rex in ancient Earth running from an erupting volcano at sunrise, ultra realistic textures, and a clean pan out. Okay, so we're going to see here exactly what this prompt that is human written generates in both Ve3 and Sora. We'll put the prompt into Ve3 and to Sora, and we'll go ahead and hit submit here to add it to the queue. Okay, we're going to come back here in a few minutes and see exactly which of these models is going to be crowned the champion with something that's not very realistic, this prompt about a T-Rex. We'll come back in a minute. Okay, once again, even though we submitted it to Ve3 first, Sora generated the video here, and it appears the T-Rex is about to start running toward the erupting volcano. Let's take a look and see how it does. Okay, well, it's kind of running. Its feet, I don't know what's going on here. Are these supposed to be rivers? The T-Rex is kind of running its tails. Yeah, I get that the video model thrives on prompts, but if this is a river right here and, you know, down below is supposed to be trees or maybe rock, I don't know what's going on here. I give this one like a 2. This is not very realistic here. Okay, well, obviously the model doesn't handle, you know, unrealistic prompts as well, and obviously there's a lot of things that are going on here. You know, maybe this is the case with just all of the AI video models, and Ve3 isn't going to be able to handle it as well. I have a few notes. There are a few things here that I'd like to point out. You know, with Sora, there was a couple visual inaccuracies, you know, with the way that the dinosaur was running and, you know, the way that this lava field is kind of coming down. I guess that's lava, actually, not rivers. You know, there's a few things. Ve3, I have a much bigger problem with, in the fact that it was doing so well. It was doing so well with the clean pan out and the ultra realistic textures and the erupting volcano at sunrise. It was doing so well until whatever this is just kind of enters the frame. Okay, for this round, I'm going to say it's a draw. I'm going to say it's a draw. And I know that's a controversial opinion. Obviously here, Sora is generating a, you know, less visually pleasing video. But I got to say, for realism, Ve3 would have won that round 100% if it were not for this dinosaur running in the sky with the dirt marks underneath it. At least Sora didn't have anything that was out of the ordinary here. You know, the dinosaur is running, but it's pretty much filling out exactly what I said with the prompt here. And we went with a little bit less of a realistic prompt just because of the fact that, you know, we wanted to see how they perform under pressure. Obviously, both of these video models still need a little bit of tuning. So just based purely on the first 2 rounds, I have to give the crown to Ve3 with an asterisk. And that asterisk is, you really have to make sure that the prompts that you're providing this model are fine-tuned for this model. Because when we gave it a prompt that was given by Gemini here, this video that we generated with the detective walking, like, absolutely phenomenal. But it seems as though if we don't have an AI-tuned, highly specific prompt here, we just have a human typing in some text, we get dinosaurs running in the sky here. Obviously not what the best thing is. But I will say here, even though this is what was generated for a human typing it out, Sora consistently had videos that really didn't exactly meet the mark here in terms of what I was trying to create. The video of the T-Rex is all right. It's passable. It's not very realistic. This video here isn't really the most passable because of the drones coming in the shot. So we really have to just give it to the lone detective walking down the bustling night market. And I mean, even though this is a pretty good video here, it pales in comparison to VO3 simply because of the fact that, again, we don't want to say we're considering the sound effects, but the sound effects are a big part of it. But even watching it muted, you can see there's just so much more detail in this shot. So I think the champion right now has to go to Google's VO3 with the asterisk. It relies highly on prompts, which means that if you're trying to use VO3 yourself on one of Google's paid plans, as it's available right now, you could generate 3 videos per day, but make sure that when you do that, the prompts that you're actually entering in are all generated by Gemini, because that is going to generate a lot better results for you. Just comparing them one-to-one, apples to apples here, Google Gemini's VO3 just absolutely takes the cake, and I don't think Sora can compare. Unless there is something they can put in that can make this compare to this, I just don't see it for Sora right now, which is really interesting. So that's our verdict. VO3 is the winner of this competition. Not only are the music, sound effects, and everything else that are going into the actual video creation making the video so much more immersive, but the actual visuals of the videos themselves look infinitely better on VO3. And I think that if you make sure that your prompts are all generated by Gemini when you're creating VO3 videos, the video results you're going to get are going to look a lot more like this, where it's a beautiful, beautiful video, and a lot less like this with the dinosaur running in the sky. So, as always, I can't wait to see what you create. My name is Josh Mountain. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.